coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.
What up? Shout out everybody out there on Team Banky Pounds, man. Boom. I appreciate the support. We out here, man. Pushing P 24/7, 365. You know the drill. Let's go. Let's get it, man. Let's do this thing. Let's get this meet and greet. We're on the road to 150K. Big love to all my subscribers. Big love to all my members. I appreciate y'all. Everybody from rocking with me from day one to yesterday. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Let's go. Let's push this positive energy out there, man. Keep these young kings and queens from throwing their life away. Woo! Look, in my 33 years of doing time, I probably spent anywhere from 5.5 to 6 years in segregation. 5.5 to 6 years. I'm guesstimating probably around that amount of time. I probably went to the hole in every institution I've been on besides maybe one. And just off the top of my head, maybe the wall. I don't think I was there long enough. Whatever the issues I got in the wall, I ended up, getting away with, because I told you they won't really, locking you up in the wall. It was dangerous. So a lot of people was getting away with a lot of stuff in there. But every other institution I've been on, I would probably say I've been to the whole. I think I've been to, in total, maybe 10, 11 different prisons, and transferred probably 13, 14 times, 15 times. I've been to a couple of prisons twice. I've been to Nottoway twice. I've been to Augusta twice. I've been to Nottoway twice, Augusta twice, Greensville 3 times, Sussex 2 twice. So whatever the math is with that, let it be math. And but maybe 10 to 11 different prisons in total. And I believe I went to seg and everyone besides the wall that I can remember. And I'm gonna tell y'all about these incidents. Some institutions I was on so long, I went to the hole several times. But this is the first time that I ever went to the hole besides receiving. So receiving is considered, but I went in receiving hole for a little while, and they boom, sent me straight to the wall. But in prison, the first time I went to the hole, this is what this story is about. The first time I went to the hole was on Augusta. And I think the first time I ended up spending like 2 months in the hole. And it was a eye-opening wake-up experience, man. And I went to the hole. The crazy part about it is I went to the hole for something that wasn't even my issue. It was my celly issue, Super D. But I'm gonna explain to you how this went down. And also, the type of dude I am, the loyalty, and what I'm saying, the honor that I show amongst, comrades or whatever. But so when I get on Augusta, I think Super D was like my first celly. You know what I'm saying? This is the part where I met Dixon in, part where I met Church in, Speedy, Snyder, Mo, Lynn, Super D, all Mayo, all these was DC homeboys. Now, prior to this time that I've been locked up and receiving and in the wall, I only ran into a couple of dudes that was from DC. So I'm really feeling like out of pocket. I'm young, I'm green, I don't know what's going on. I'm thinking like, boom, I've been fighting all through the jails, because dudes, oh man, DC, I'm, trying to, impose their will and whatnot. And I'm like, I'm rejecting all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm with all of that. Let's just get it. Bang, bang, boom. I'm fighting them in the hole. I'm going. Now, I went to the hole plenty of times in the jail because I was in the jail for a minute. So I'm fighting in the jail. So I'm thinking this is the life that I'm getting ready to live. You know what I'm saying? So even when I get in the penitentiary and I don't run into but a certain amount of dudes from DC. So once I hit Augusta, and I'm like, boom, you got 6, 7, 8, 9 dudes in the pod that's from DC. I'm like, I'm thinking I'm the only dude out of bounds, you know what I'm saying, that came to Virginia and got late. But it's dudes in here, and these good dudes, real dudes, you know what I'm saying? And none of them I knew on the street, but just the fact that they was from the city, that's where I started learning about how the bond was like. You know what I'm saying? We from the city, you know what I'm saying, Joe, it ain't too many of us, man. We gotta stick together. We gotta ride together. You know what I'm saying? It all, you know what I'm saying, all for one. We got to be in it. You know what I'm saying? He got to be, we all in it. We all, you know what I'm saying, this how we got to represent. So by them putting me straight in the cell with Super D, I fall straight into this. Now the thing about DC was, in the Virginia penal system, it's like Alexandria, Maryland, they all came up under, like DC banner. You know what I'm saying? Because DC is like the biggest one. So we all like stuck together because it was like they all looked at us like outsiders. You know what I'm saying? But what I learned was off the top that, most of these dudes from the city, they not playing. They going all the way. If they gotta go, they gotta go. And this is how they making they stand in the system. So like I say, by me being green, I'm learning all of this. So I'm in the cell with Super D, and Super D probably a couple of years older than me, but Daryl, he getting money. He getting money. He like probably one or two, three at the most. Only dudes on the compound is getting dope. He getting raw dope. His girl bringing him the dope. He killing them. He getting money hand over fist. I'm learning all of this new stuff. I remember, like DC, we wear New Balances and K Swiss, especially like in the 80s and stuff like that. That's what we went. Man, Super D was getting suede, K Swiss, and you know what I'm saying, brand New Balances and stuff like. So I'm looking, I'm like, man, it's crazy because at the time I don't see this in prison. I haven't seen it. Even in the wall, I'm in the wall with a bunch of old heads, man. These jokers in there wearing pleats in their pants. These dudes in there wearing pleats in their pants and wearing hard church shoes to the VI and tight shirts and tight clothes, bell bottoms. These dudes been locked up 20, 30 years. This is how they carrying it in there. You know what I'm saying? You go in the visit room, I'm telling you, that's my good word. You go in that visit room in the wall. When I was in that joint like 88, you man, dudes got pleats in their pants, crease hard, sharp, man. The crease will cut you straight down the middle. You remember how you dudes used to wear iron creases in their pants? Man, they got them joints, they got pleats in there. Y'all probably don't need, young people probably don't even know what pleats is. They got pleats in their pants, they got tight shirts on, the pants is tight, they bare bottoms, they got hard gator shoes on. You know what I'm saying, in the visiting room, because you can have hard shoes in the wall. They wearing hard shoes over, man. I was like, man, it's like I'm in the throwback to the Commodores. So it was crazy. So when I get to Augusta and I see dudes can get their own stuff, you can order from East Bay or you can order from J.C. Penney's, or people was finessing them, and you get your people can send in a box of stuff every 6 months. People sending in shoes and stuff like that. So Super D getting money. So he got K Swiss, he got New Balances, he got Super Timberlands, he got whatever you could have, he had it. So I'm picking up on that. And then he, like I said, a couple of years older than me. We get the bond and we get cool. And I see he moving, he working, he getting money. So I'm learning how you know what I'm saying, you get money in the prison too, how you can get money, what drugs will do. But at the same time, I won't try to get involved in that. At the time, I'm new, I'm green. I ain't trying to get involved in nothing like that. You know, I'm trying to figure this out. I'm trying to see what's going on. I'm sitting on L notes. I'm in the beginning stage of this. All I've been doing since I've been in is fighting and beefing and arguing. And, you know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to relax and settle down and see what's going on. Even in the wall, we was moving in what they call controlled movement, because they was only letting out a block out at a time, because they just come off a major lock from years of being on just lockdown, like they locked down all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? So, and then they was in the transition of closing the prison down. So I ain't been in like an open population. Like when you go out on the yard, it's everybody out there. That's how it was on Augusta. When you go out on the yard, it might be 600 people out there. You know what I'm saying? So, and you got 1, 2, 3, 4 towers. They can't control 600 people if they get out there and get out of control. It's every man for himself. So it was just like an eye-opening experience to me. Everything was just like new. Everything was moving fast. Everything was like, man. And Super D is like he was navigating. He was getting respect. Dudes dealt with him. They knew he get money. They know he dangerous. They know DC behind him. So it's like, boom, I just fell right into the fold. So I'm like, wow. You know what I'm saying? This is, you know what I'm saying? More than I even imagined. So it was just crazy, man. It was crazy work. And D was getting money, man. We ain't had to worry about eating. He was like, so you ain't got to go to the store, man. I got this, I got that. Because people bringing them stuff all day long, right? And we got cool, man. And he was just, it came to the point where he was like, man, look, Shorty, if I get in this, that, or thing, you just hold me down. You know what I'm saying? Have my back. You know what I'm saying? I got yours. Woo, woo, woo. You ain't got to worry about nothing, man. I got this, I got that. But, man, these mamas ain't going to play with my money. They play with my money. I'm telling you, I'm going out. You know what I'm saying? Woo, woo. I remember I told y'all we had to pull up on Fleetwood. And I thought we was going to do Fleetwood. And I'm all with it. I'm ready to throw, you know what I'm saying, throw my life on the line already because this the loyalty that I'm displaying. This is how I'm gonna start doing my time because this is what he telling me. You know what I'm saying? The strange thing about that, he could have been fake balling and I wouldn't have known it until it came there to the you know what I'm saying, to the show and tell part. But he wasn't. But this is how dudes get tricked up when they first come into prison. Dudes will say, you all listen, act like they like this and like that. But when something happened, then you know you're on your own. So you got to be real careful about that. But D was head up. He won't play no games. He gonna push when it's time to push. He gonna do what he got to do. He'll throw it all on the table. Even though he getting money, he not gonna let nobody play with him and take his money. So I'm taking notes to all of this. You know what I'm saying? And I'm seeing this is okay, this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, you know, I'm getting cooler with the dudes that was from DC. That's how me and Dixon started getting cool. You know what I'm saying? Snyder, Church, you know what I'm saying, Speedy, you know, all the little young dudes I was getting cool with because these was like some of the only dudes I was talking to besides a couple of dudes that I knew from in the wall or in Southampton receiving, stuff like that. And there was a couple of dudes that was outside of our part that I had knew from receiving, so I kick it with them, you know, but it was just crazy work, man. But everybody knew that D was working. He was getting that work. You see what I'm saying? So everybody was catered to him, kissing his butt, whatever, especially the dudes that wanted to get high because, like I say, he one of the only shows in town on a 1,500 man compound. You talking about like 2 or 3 dudes that Mike could get the dope, and D could get it anytime he wanted because his girl was gonna bring it to him, and he knew how to get it out. I ain't never asked him how he get it out, but he knew how to get it out. You know what I'm saying? So he always got money. He always on the hustle. He always on the grind, right? So they always trying to catch him too. So I remember they rolled down on us a couple of times. They ain't get nothing, you know what I'm saying? Like, they come shake us down middle of the night, come early in the morning, come in the evening time. They ain't never catch nothing. So I remember one time they came, shook us down, and they just, boom, hit the door. Hey, shake down, shake down, shake down. It's probably about 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. They come in the joint. They tear the whole joint up. But D stayed on point. You know what I'm saying? He was smart. Like, even then, I learned that he might have something, but he gonna have somebody else holding it for him so they'll never catch it in the cell. You know what I'm saying? We had the Bethlehems. Another dude hold it for him. He giving me this game. I don't know this stuff. He been in the penitentiary already for a couple of years. I don't know none of this. So they come in, they shake down. I guess they had got a note to say D had some work, and he did. He had just got some work. You know what I'm saying? This probably was like on a Sunday. D got to work. They running down like that Monday. You know what I'm saying? So they come in, they don't find that. They don't find that. So they start going through everything. I mean everything. Then they wanted to get petty. we could buy razors off of the commissary. At the time, I ain't shaved. I ain't never put a razor on my face anyway. But at the time, I wasn't even shaving. I ain't had nothing. You know what I'm saying? A little peach fuzz. You did. I ain't really had nothing. I'm young, so D used to shave though. So he had razors and stuff in there. Plus he used to use them razors. You know what I'm saying? Cut that dope up and stuff like that. So he would break the razor and take out the razor blade and do what he got to do, but then he hide the razor blade somewhere because if you break the razor, this was so crazy. You could order a razor from prison, from the commissary. You know what I'm saying? Big razors, whatever you call them. But if they come to your set and it's broke and the razor is missing, they gonna give you a weapons charge. Yeah, they gonna give you a weapons charge for that. You cannot break it and you cannot take it outside of the casing, right? So they found a broke razor, right? And once they found that broke razor, you know what I'm saying, it was in the trash can. The part that you shave with, it was in the trash can, but the razor wasn't in. So they started turning the cell up looking for the razor blade. You know what I'm saying? The razor blade, bro. They looking for a little small razor blade because they can't find no dope. They can't find no money. They can't find nothing on him. You know what I'm saying? Because he was on point. So they looking for a little small, and they find a little razor blade, which he had hid in the lip of like the desk and stuff. They find the junk, pull the joint out, wrapped up in a little piece of toilet paper. So they said, "Whose is it?" Right? I don't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting there, we cuffed up and everything. I don't say nothing. So he don't say nothing. So he said, I ain't gonna ask y'all no more. Who is it? If it ain't, if no one of y'all claim it, both of y'all go in the hole. Both of y'all gonna get the charge. And they could do that. They could get both people the charge for one item. And ain't nobody said it was theirs. And they found it in a common area. If they find it on my bed, they gonna say it's mine. They find it on his bed, they gonna say it's his. If they find it in what they call the common area, then if don't nobody claim it, both of y'all gonna get the charge. And they'll literally take you to the kangaroo court, which is called the Justice Committee, and they'll find both of y'all guilty for one thing. How is that even possible? But this is what they doing in there, right? This the skullduggery, the larceny, the tomfoolery, the trickeration. You know what I'm saying? The flimflammery that they running in there and getting away with it on a regular basis. So don't nobody say, I don't say nothing, he don't say nothing, right? So the CO told me, look, I'm gonna walk out. I'm gonna give y'all 60 seconds. Decide if one of y'all gonna claim this. If none one of y'all claim it, then both of y'all going to jail. Straight up. Pack your stuff up. So we walk out, they out there kickity kiki and ha and whoop the woo and all that, whatever they do. And he said, look, y'all, man, take the charge for me. You know it's mine, but take the charge for me. I got you. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what? He was like, take the charge, man. You go to jail. You ain't never been to jail on here. You know I got that sack coming in again. I got you. You ain't got to worry about nothing. I'm going to look out for you. Woo, woo. You just got locked up, man. You ain't got no charge. They ain't going to do nothing but hold you back there for a couple of weeks. You going to be all right. You know what I'm saying? I got you. He said, man, they just trying to get rid of me. You know what I'm saying? They trying to lock me up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, hi. I'm nervous, baby, because I ain't never been to the hole. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, But you know what I'm saying? This is my dog. He done kept it 100 with me since I've been in here. You know what I'm saying? We done had some issues with Alabama since I've been here. I see how he moves. So I'm like, man. So I'm asking my man what they gonna do. He said, man, they gonna give you a charge. They gonna take you to the all you gotta do is tell them, man, say, man, I bought the razor broke. And I just, you know what I'm saying, I put it over there, man, because I still might use it, you know what I'm saying, to cut this, cut my letters up or something, you know what I'm saying, or I shave with it like that. He said, just tell them something like that, man. He said, man, they'll do, I'm gonna give you a little charge, just pay the charge, right? So I'm like, all right, bro, I got you. He was like, word? I said, yeah, I got you. He said, I got you, Shaw. Don't worry about it. That's my word. You know I'm good, Shaw. I got you, man. I got you, Mo. So I'm like, bet. So boom. I go ahead on and take the charge. Come back in there, man. They say, man, who? All right, I'm gonna ask y'all one more time. Say, who raises this? Right. I say it's mine, man. He said, all right, well then you go in the hole, pack your stuff. Where your stuff at? Woo, woo, woo. Start packing my stuff up, right? So they take me to the hole, man. I'm like, man, this crazy. I ain't never, you know what I'm saying, been like this. You know what I'm saying? So they take me to the joint. I get up in the joint, man. They separate my property where they say you can only have this amount of mail. If you got a phone book, you can have your phone book, be able to call your people. You can't use a phone book once a month. Once a month, right? Now I'm way up here in the mountains, man. My people, I'm green. My people be coming see me. They be talking to them. I talk to them every day. You can't use the phone but once a month. I'm like, what? I ain't know none of this. Can't use the phone but once a month. Can't get no commissary back here. You can't have nothing but a book. You can get a book. They bring the library around once a week. You can get a book off the library card. You can't have your TV. You can't have your radio. You can't. I'm like, oh, whoa, whoa. I'm like, man, this is what I signed up for, though, right? So I get back to joint. They take me to the cell. I'm in the cell, bro. I ain't got nothing but a little bag, man, little less than a grocery bag of stuff. I get in there. I ain't got nothing but a toilet, a sink, the bed, four walls, door, window. You know what I'm saying? Window small, can't hardly see out of that joint. Close the door, they gone. I'm like, man. I start unpacking the little stuff that I got. I ain't got nothing, man. I'm like, boom. Now you got to rely on only thing you can eat is what they going to bring you 3 times a day. You ain't got no food. If they don't feed you or die, you going to starve. If you don't eat what they bring you, if you don't like it, you ain't got no choice. This all you got coming. So I'm like, man. And they bring me back there, man. They take me to the justice committee. I found me guilty because I said the joint was mine. Many people say 45-day review. Right. They gave me 45 days and then they said review. So what that means is you gotta do at least 45 days. And then they take you up for a review to see if, you know what I'm saying, you suitable for release back to the population. So I'm like, man, 45 days. Like this joke for 4 days before I see the people, and I'm like 45. 4 days, you mean tell me I got 40, 44, 41 more of these things? Man, it was crazy. It was brutal, man. So I'm back there, and the thing about that is when you first get locked up, like in prison, and then when you trying to, one of the worst things that happened to you in prison, man, this some real spill right here, is that you get alone time with yourself and you get a time to think about your life. That's one of the worst things that can happen to you, bro. Real talk, because you forced to deal with the reality of your mistakes, the reality of your mishaps, your miscalculations. When you went left and you should have went right. You see all of that because you faced with it. You ain't got no choice. It's just you and your brain and your thoughts. And man, to be alone with your thoughts, man, and don't have no distractions. Oh man, that's a horse of a different color right there. Real talk. That's a horse of a different color. So I'm sitting back there and I'm trying to occupy my time and I'm thinking about everything I ever did wrong. Everything that I wish I wouldn't have did. All the situations I put myself in that I've said, man, why you do that, man? And they never add up. When you out here and you moving around, it add up. Oh, I could do this. I could make this lick. Oh, I could rob this joke. I might come up on. It never adds up when you sitting up in that cell and you looking up and all you see is 4 walls and you ain't got no family. You ain't got no friends. You ain't got no girl. You ain't got nothing but you. You ain't got no money. You got this cell, bro, and that's all you got. And you young and you saying to yourself, man, life over for me already. How I end up in this position, man? How? You know what I'm saying? And it's just crazy, man. It's a heavy weight on you. So when I'm like, boom, I signed up for the more than I bargained for because I told him I'd take the charge. I ain't know I was gonna be going through it. I was going through it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm back here. So I try to do things that take my mind away from. I started trying to read books because that's all you could have. I started to read books. I was looking at magazines. Man, I'm reading dumb stuff. I'm reading this. I started working out. Now I started working out crazy. So I'll be like, boom, I just work out. But then you working out in there, so you get to sweating so much and you putting in so much work and you ain't got no no change of clothes. You know what I'm saying? You got two sets of boxes and t-shirts. You got 2 socks, 2 boxes, 2 t-shirts. And they'll switch that out once a week, every 7 days. So you work out, you got to literally get up in the sink and hand wash your drawers, your socks and your t-shirts, and hang them up and let them dry and put your dry set on and reverse the process. Now, if you want to work out twice a day, then you know what I'm saying, you putting on wet clothes. You got to put on wet clothes, you know what I'm saying, because it ain't even fully dry just to work out. So that was a problem, you know what I'm saying? And you hear all these voices and everybody hollering at night, screaming and trying to talk to each other because everybody, you got dudes been back there for months. You got dudes been back there probably a year. You got dudes that's just, they so bored they talk to each other all night long. So you hearing all of this crazy conversation that you ain't got no choice but to listen to because it's coming across your earshot. And you lay it up in here, you looking up at the ceiling, and you started counting the blocks on the wall, the cracks in the wall, the crevices, the holes, the, you know what I'm saying, the smell of the cell, the everything, man. It's just like you just alone. And then you start thinking about, again, you can't get away from your thoughts, man. Why I do this? How I end up in prison, man? Why this happened to me? And you got to answer all these questions because there ain't nobody else that you talking to but yourself. So, man, I was going through it, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I was like, man, I can't be doing this. I can't be in the hole, you know what I'm saying? At least if I'm out there with all the chaos, the confusion, the you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter because I can move around. I could call my people. I could, you know, and at the time, young coming in, calling my people who gave me a, you know what I'm saying? It gave me some peace of mind, bro. I felt like at least I could talk to somebody. You know what I'm saying? At the time, I'm still married. I could talk to my wife. I could talk to my mama. I could talk to my brother, my sister. I could see what's going on out there in the real world because at this time, you know, you want to stay connected to the real world so much because everything around you is new. Everything around you is foreign. Everything around you is crazy. So you like, man. And then you trying to set up visits. You want people to come see you. You want to, hey, look, I'm going to call at 4 o'clock. Then get, you know, be by the, you know, we ain't had no cell phones. You got to be by that phone at 4 o'clock. I'm going to call. Stuff like that. So it was crazy, man. And you couldn't do none of that when you in the hole. You don't know none of that. You don't even know. And then if somebody pop up on you to see you to get a visit, which happened to me because they wonder why I ain't calling home, and they pop up to see you, you go over there in handcuffs and shackles, and you gotta talk on a phone through a plexiglass window. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you know, when you can get a visit and you can sit down there, hug your people, talk to your people, eat some food out of the vending machine. Couldn't do none of that in the hole. You had to go from the rough. Just they had to come all them ways, 5-6 hours, just to come in a visiting room and talk to you for 45 minutes to an hour on the phone through a plexiglass when you know, handcuffed up. Can't touch them, can't do nothing, and then they gotta leave and go back. So you talking about 4, 5, 6 hours just for an hour to see you and talk to you on the phone. Only difference is you seeing him and talking to him on the phone, opposed to just talking to him on the phone. Because they couldn't talk to you on the phone because you can only use the phone once a month for like 15, 20 minutes. Man, I was like, man, my life is gone, man. And I remember being young, and my mama always tell me when I'm out there, I'm getting in trouble, I'm fighting, or this happened, that happened. She said, boy, you're going to ruin your life. You're going to make a mistake, and your life going to be ruined. And that word just always stuck in my head, ruin. Ruin, because that's the words that she used. You're going to ruin your life. And I just was laying in that cell, and all that stuff come back to you. I was like, man, my life ruined. It's ruined. I'm 21, 22 years old. Life is ruined. You know what I'm saying? Muhammad Ali was 22 years old, was a heavyweight champion of the world. I'm sitting up in the penitentiary, 22 years old. Life ruined. You know what I'm saying? So it was just crazy, man. Then I go to the 45-day review, right? And I get to the 45-day review, and I think they said they recommend 15 more days. I was like, for what? I did that. They recommended 15 more. So I had to do 15 more. And then I went back up for a review, and then they let me out. You know what I'm saying? And man, that was an eye opener right there. Little do I know, you know what I'm saying, I would be in the hole several more times doing my bit, and for longer, way longer stretches than that. So I ended up doing like 2 months, you know, but I would, you know, surpass that. You know what I'm saying? Far surpass that in the future. But I remember at that moment, I said, I can't be in the hole, dog. That joint will drive you crazy because you're alone with your mind, you're alone with your thoughts. And I didn't want to be there no more because all my thoughts was just making me more depressed, making me more, you know what I'm saying? And man, I didn't even know what was to come, man. But yeah, I ended up in the hole, man. Man, undetermined amount of times in 33 years. And I just remember just that feeling the first time, like, I don't want to be up in this joint no more, you know. But you never know what's gonna happen in the future, man. But it was crazy work, dog. That was crazy. And the first time I ever went the hole was for somebody else, for Super D. You know what I'm saying? So I to Super D, but I took that on, and he did look out for me. He looked out for me. I ain't had to want nothing when I was on the compound with Super D. Even when they took me out, they put me in a whole nother building. He was like, send me commissary down there, send me bags and bags of commissary. You good, shawty? You need something, shawty? Woo, woo, woo. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get my girl to put some money on your books. You know what I'm saying? I got you. You know what I'm saying? And he kept it 100. You know what I'm saying? He kept it 100 with me the whole time. And that's why when he ended up passing away years later, man, that don't hurt me. That don't hurt me to my heart. You know, but yeah, man, that was my first experience in the hole of unfortunately of many experiences in the hole, you know. So yeah, man. So this is part one. Y'all want to know the rest of them, man? It's gonna be by the comments. Let me know, and I'll run them down to y'all, man, step by step. I'll relive that just for y'all. You did. Crazy work, man. I'm gonna tell you, dude. I will tell you this though. Being in isolation like that, we being human beings, we social people. We used to socializing and being around. When you by yourself like that, bro, it's torture. It's mental torture on you. It's physical torture on you, and it has an effect on you for sure, for sure. You know, I think it has to. That's why they use it as punishment. You know, it's deeper than what the surface say. You just going to segregation. It's deeper than that. You know what I'm saying? It's deeper than that. But anyway, y'all talk to me in the comments. I talk back, you dig? Let's get it. Let's go. Let's get deep into this thing, man. We in the penitentiary, man. We up in here. We in TBP Nation. We in the prison trying to keep you out the prison. So what you gonna do? Barbecue or mildew? Let's go.
The banky special.
Yeah.
Pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man. My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.